if you are thinking to yourself, my social life is not where I want it to be, I'm telling you, time, proximity. If you can find a space where you can regularly socialize with the same people week to week to week to week, and you invest in that space, being like, I am here for this, I'm a ride or die, I'm a regular. And if you can do that, it has the capacity to change your life. Today's off-camera fidget toy is this little Tangle toy that matches my hair. If I were a Disney princess, my I Want song about November of last year would have been, I want friends. And don't get me wrong, I had friends. I have like a lot of friends. I have friends. I definitely have friends. My therapist at one point had me do this like relationship map, which was basically like you at the center because main character energy, and then in concentric circles moving out, kind of mapping out your major relationships into like how close they feel to you. There were so many people in my circle, like in my map, that I was like, you know, in my head, I think of you still as like my close friend. But over time, as they got jobs in different cities, moved away, whatever, I realized that I'm like, I don't know if you're as close of my like in like my inner circles of this relationship map as maybe I was thinking in my head. And then I was realizing like the people I talk to every day, the people I socialize with regularly is very slim. And to go beyond that, it's like I definitely didn't have a friend group. Like, you know, when you imagine like sitcom, like my kind of friends that I'd made over time were scattered across the country, or they were just very disparate. If I think about my life as a TV show, because being autistic, having a framework in which to like deeply sort of like project your life onto in order to like understand it is kind of essential. And I was like, okay, this TV show, what are we missing? How can we improve what's going on here? And I was like, the biggest thing that we're missing that I find to be like crucial to any sitcom that I love and watch all the time, B-plot. We were missing the B-plot. Like, there's always good B-plot. There's always good side characters that come on. All these different dynamics between characters and zooming in on those other side stories that are all kind of happening at the same time is what builds like a world that feels full. And that's what I wanted my life to feel like. I want my life to feel full. And how does a lot of B-plot happen on sitcoms? A designated third place. Now, a lot of people talk about a third place, and I feel like it's a very popular buzzword in the whole nobody knows how, oh, dang poop. Okay. It's a very popular buzzword in the whole, like, modern adults, friends, we don't know how to make them sort of crisis. And they're like, third places, we're running out of third places, we need third places. And I think that's true, but a lot of those articles don't give you like solutions or like ways to like how do you apply a third place to your life? How do you find one? What can it do for you? And I know the power of a third place because I think back to my college years. And I think for a lot of people that get to be like, you know, my age and older, they think back to like college and they love it so much because it's a time when their social life and their community felt very complete. For a lot of people, it's probably when it felt most complete because you have this like small sort of like bubble where it's like, it's almost like a little what's it called? A little terrarium. It's like a little terrarium and you're all little bugs and you're in your terrarium and it's like, ooh, look how flourishing it is, our tiny little microbiome. I don't know if many people think about their college experience as a terrarium, but I do. And if you think about that terrarium, a lot of people really miss it. They're like, put me back in there, put me in. And so we must create a new terrarium. What are the baseline requirements? So if I'm thinking about building a new terrarium in my life, I'm like, how do we do that? What are the ingredients we need to build the ideal terrarium for me, Bug? Here are the list of things that I came up with. I was like, friends, oftentimes the easiest time to make friends are when you have time and you have proximity. Time being like you just spend a lot of time together. And honestly, I think proximity is kind of just like correlated to time, because if you have proximity, you're gonna spend more time. It's just easier to spend more time together. So that's why I think like college and school and stuff, it's like, okay, you're all in the same place and you all regularly do things together. That's just part of your normal schedule. So that's what we had to recreate here. We have to have some sort of like place that we're going to choose to invest in as our designated third place, that we're going to spend a lot of time. And then we need like a regularly scheduled activity where you are brought into the space with the community. We also want to set it up so that the people we're hanging out with for a long amount of time in the same place are people we vibe with, you know? And so a great way to do this, hobbies. So I was like, what do I know to be true about myself? And what I know to be true about myself is that I'm a big fat nerd. And if you put me in nerdy ass spaces, I'm gonna thrive. We're gonna thrive. We're gonna be the head bug amongst all the little nerdy bugs. And so I was like, local game store. Easy pick for a third place. People I get along with, shared interests already established. And then as far as the regularity, which is what we needed, because again, we need time and proximity. We need that sort of regularly scheduled programming.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Scheduled. One thing that local game stores have is that they have leagues where it's like, okay, every Monday we have this league and you come and you all play this game, and then the next week you come play that game again, and then repeat, rinse, repeat. And I was like, I can do that. I never thought that I would be into trading card games. I had known about them peripherally. I have had friends who are really into Magic the Gathering, and I played one deck building game one time and thought, I don't think this is the mechanic for me. I love board games. I love TTRPGs, but deck building had never appealed to me. But then, insert Lorcana. And I was like, you know, though, I do like Disney. And this seems approachable. This just came out recently. There's not like 30 years of lore I have to like learn to get into this. And a lot of the other people here are probably also new-ish to this game. We got our cards. We showed up. And the bonus thing about the local game store that I chose to invest in as my designated third place was that there's already an established community. There is like a Discord. There's like, so integrating yourself, it's not like you have to start that from scratch. No, I just joined the Discord. Everybody's there. We're grooving. And everyone was so nice. My first time showing up, everyone was like, let me teach you how to play this game. Let me show you. Do you have sleeves? Do you have all the accoutrements to play this game? I've got extra. Here, have some. And thus it began. The scene is set. We have our bowl to build our terrarium. Now, all we gotta do is invest in it. All we gotta do is show up. And show up I did. And remember how I said that, like, if you put me in a room with like a bunch of nerdy ass people, like, we're gonna flourish, you know? It's like, I don't know what it is. It's like the I'm not gonna continue the terrarium metaphor. I think we've exhausted it. But it's true. I entered into that space and it was like, oh my God, this is easy. You find your vibe. You can find your vibe. What is your vibe? Maybe, do you know how many queer friends have lost to rock climbing? Go rock climb. Maybe that's your thing. Like, people just get sucked into rock climbing and then you are a part of that community. Look into what your place offers. Maybe it's a book club you can join. Maybe it's like a bingo night. Who knows? You know? There's a reason why old people love bingo, because it's just a designated, you get to socialize with people. You show up for bingo. And also the stampers are real fun, and then the calling, you know, bingo's great. My friend joined a softball league out in San Diego, and now she's got like, oh boy, all these friends, all these social plans, always busy, always doing stuff, has had so many little like romantic entanglements with like the softball people, and thriving. You can find your terrarium. I said I was gonna let that go. I didn't let it go. So where are we now? Or where am I now? If I look back to the beginning of this year, and I look at the journey, this is the part where I get a little sentimental. It's changed my life. I'm not even being hyperbolic. It's like these people have become so important to me. This community, this place, like the amount that I love my local game store, that it feels like a home away from home, that I can walk in and it's just like everyone's really excited to see me. People are sad when I'm out of town and gonna miss, League. I can talk to people about this game, but we can also talk about like life and what's going on, and we have jokes and there's just this really rich dynamic that is so fulfilling to me. I always joked when I started coming to League that I was like, I'm kind of the opposite of the cliched, reality TV show line where it's like, I'm only here to make friends. John Green said one time that one of the things he learned in I think his marriage counseling thing, premarital counseling thing he did with his wife, was that the importance of a lot of times couples get overwhelmed because they're just looking at each other. If you can find an outside third thing and then both look at that thing together, it can really build closeness and intimacy and allow you to get closer in ways that you can't always easily access when you're just looking at each other. And I feel like that's the same about finding a hobby, finding a third place, and investing in it truly, is that it's you're all looking at this third thing, right? That's what you're focused on. And it frees you up to build these relationships with people without even feeling like you're consciously doing it. But just over time, being in the same spaces, making those memories together, investing in the same thing, loving something as a group, it just builds this connection that is unmatched by so many other things. I don't know if any of my Lorcana friends will see this, but if you do, I love you guys so much. You've added so much to my life, and I am so excited to just continue being nerdy card game people with you. Circling all the way back, the sitcom of my life now? Oh! The charts, the ratings are through the roofs. I guess they don't have charts for TV shows, but the ratings, the writers are on their shit. And now when I tell you though, the B-plot is B-plotting, for better and for worse. We've had some ups and downs, some dramatic, romantic curveballs thrown in our way. Just, a little messy. My therapist literally said to me, she's like, your life entertains me, which, that's a win. I think that's getting an A in therapy, which is a totally normal thing to want and a totally achievable thing to have. I have a group chat that I'm a part of that it's blowing up every single day. That's just my core sort of closest group that I see week to week at my league. Now I also have this wider community of just Lorcana people, and also that leads into the greater, wider community of just trading card games and TCG players. And this is an entire thriving, rich ecosystem that I am now a part of and can expand into. There's so much room to grow this social energy that I have. It doesn't feel like there's any limits on where this could take me and the relationships I can build and sort of the creative pursuits, and it just has opened up so many opportunities, and it's just been amazing. It's been amazing. I am drinking that Kool-Aid, and it is good Kool-Aid. I've also become really close with so much of the staff at my local game store. These people have become friends of mine that I will invite to do things and hang out, and they've taught me things, and I wouldn't, if I had a birthday party right now, they'd be invited to the birthday party. They'd be invited for sure to the birthday party. We give each other life advice and open up about things. It's just really lovely, really lovely. It's been 6 months since I really started this journey super in earnest, but I would say the bulk of that sort of growth and enrichment happened within the first 3 months. Even by the beginning of March, when my birthday came around, I had people at Lorcana that I was like, hey, you guys want to go for birthday drinks after Lorcana? And they all did. So if you are thinking to yourself, my social life is not where I want it to be, I'm telling you, time, proximity. If you can find a space where you can regularly socialize with the same people week to week to week to week, and you invest in that space being like, I am here for this. I'm a ride or die. I'm a regular. You know what I mean? And if you can do that, I'm just saying, it has the capacity to change your life. You can have the social life. You can have the friend group that you want. The world we live in has made it increasingly difficult to make friends as an adult, and a lot of people don't equip us with the tools or the instructions on how to do that, but it's not impossible. And when you find the like spaces to be able to do that, it's actually quite easy. And you realize, you get in tune with that child version of yourself that just walked up to some kid and was like, you want to play? And if you can tap into that, the world is your terrarium. Let me know in the comments, what's your terrarium? Do you have a terrarium? Like, what is your space that is like yours? You know what I mean? Where's that community for you? Maybe it's here on YouTube. I don't know. Anyways, I love you all. Bye! Dink! This is so chaotic. Maybe I shouldn't be playing with this the entire video. Hey! Ooh, toy.